Hello, welcome back guys. It's Ryan Lim again. Here we are again. All right, this course is based on real SAT biology questions over the past 3 years that you can never see in other lectures or books. So this course is like an insurance that can guarantee you the minimum score of 700. So actually, taking this course only will boost up your score at least 50 to 100. But please, refrain from simple memorization or last-minute cramming of these questions, because this course is to assure you that what you've learned so far actually works in real SAT biology and to help you go through the most important concepts that you've learned thoroughly for the last minute. Okay? So this course assumes that you've already completed Advanced 1 and 2 courses. So if you didn't, please make sure you do. And now, let's get started. All right, final review, Lecture 1. Questions 1 to 3. 1. Composed of cephalothorax and abdomen, but doesn't have antennae. Okay, cephalothorax means this. Cephalo part is head. So simply, it is talking about a certain organism consists of the head and thorax and abdomen part. What is it? It's talking about arthropods, right? So arthropods, we have them here in A and C, right? So scorpion is arthropod and its class is arachnid. And hydra, this is cnidarian. Butterfly, this is insecta, class insecta, right? Sea star, this is a phylum Echinodermata. And the C. elegans, nematoda, which is roundworm. Okay, most of students still get confused between roundworm and the segmented worm. Okay, nematoda, you need to remember only one example, C. elegans. That is the only example you need to know. And Annelida, earthworm, okay, earthworms, segmented worms, okay. So it's got to be either A or C for number 1, but what does it say after this? But doesn't have antennae. Butterfly, obviously, this is insecta, so it's got antennae. But scorpion, they don't, right? So A is the answer. And number 2, it has antennae on the head, talking about C. And number 3, it has tube feet. What is it? Tube feet comprises water vascular system. And water vascular system is one of the most important features of phylum Echinodermata, D. And number 4, these organisms have 2 layers. Okay, 2 layers. That means very primitive. That means it doesn't have mesoderm, only ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, the entire cells are in direct contact with the surroundings or the environment. So it's talking about cnidarian, hydra. Again, for the cnidarian, you need to remember 3 different organisms. First, hydra. Second, sea anemone. And thirdly, what is it? Jellyfish, right? They're all 2-layered organisms, and they only have ectoderm and endoderm, no mesoderms, okay? All right, questions 5 to 9. This is a cross-section of the plants, right? So we know this is a stem of dicots, right? Stem of dicots. Okay, stem and dicot because we see ring structure, right? First, ring structure, and second, we see this kernel-like vascular system, right? And in between these two different vascular tissues, what we see here is cambium, right? Vascular cambium, or just lateral meristems, if you wish. So always, as always, on the inner layer, we have xylem. On the outer layer, we have phloem, right? Okay. If we were all scattered like this, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, then that means this is the stem of monocots, not the dicots, right? And if we saw this cross shapes in the middle and some debris in between these sections, that means this is a cross section of the roots of dicots. And instead, if we see ring structure, but instead of seeing this kernel-like shape, if we see this, that means this is the roots of monocots, okay? But of those four pictures, stem of the dicots most frequently appears on the real SAT questions, okay? So A, this is pith, right? Or steel. So this is a part that stores the nutrient and at the same time support the stem. And B, again, this is xylem, this is cambium, this is phloem, and here, this is epidermis, right? Which is kind of bark here. All right, number 5, this type of tissues primarily stores the food. It's talking about the steel or pith, okay? That's A. Number 6 is transport sucrose. Transport sucrose, nutrients, sap, is the role of the phloem, which is D, right? And number 7, secondary xylem and secondary phloem are produced from here. Okay, so this is the function of the letter cambium. Here C. So if this is a cambium, on the inner layer they produce xylem. On the outer layer they produce phloem, right? So the newer vascular tissues are closer to the cambium, all right? Because the primary phloem is kind of pushed away from the cambium as the secondary phloem is emerged. And that is same for this primary xylem, okay? So this is secondary, and cambium in the middle. Okay, number 8, it prevents water loss. Water loss is prevented by the outermost layer, which is epidermis, right? So number 8 is E. And number 9, it transports water and electrolytes. This is the role of xylem, which is indicated by B. Okay. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the cambium. So cambium, again, this is a type of meristem, right? If we have stem cells which got totipotent or the pluripotent ability to differentiate into all different sorts of the cells, plants, they have meristem, okay? And meristem can be categorized into either primary apical meristem or lateral meristem. Okay. Apical meristem is responsible for primary growth. That means growth in length, right? Like a stem elongation or the root projections. And lateral meristem is referring to vascular cambium. So vascular cambium, as they make secondary or the tertiary, quaternary, different phloem and the xylems, they grow in their diameters. So that's why it's called lateral meristem, and that is responsible for secondary growth in diameter, okay?